Alright guys, welcome back to another Opera Omnia video where we're going to be talking about Weiss, who is going to be our next newest character dropping to Global DFFOO. Now Weiss is a pretty strong character with preemptive attacks before anybody uses any of their abilities, and he does gain an additional attack on his own turn, so he is a pretty strong preemptive attacker. But there is more to his kit than just those preemptive attacks, which we will get into in this video. So do let me know down in the comment section below what your plans are going to be. If you're going to be pulling for Weiss, or if you're going to be holding off on him for a future character, feel free to let me know. And as always, if you guys do enjoy the video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for future content. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into it. A big thank you as always to all of my current YouTube supporters. I appreciate you guys greatly. If you ever thought about becoming a member of the channel and further supporting what I do, you can either click the first link in the description below or the join button next to the subscribe button for details on what you can gain for becoming a member of the channel, and a big thank you ahead of time if you do decide to become one. So we'll first start off with Weiss's skill 1, Twin Blade Flash, which grants the Deep Ground Ruler buff for 6 turns. Then deals 6 HP attacks that allows for 150% stolen Max Brave Overflow. The buff grants him a 20% attack up and Max Brave up. His skill 2, Division of Heaven and Earth, grants the Deep Ground Ruler buff for 6 turns, then deals an AoE split HP attack 4 times that allows for 180% stolen Max Brave Overflow. Now his ZX, Bullets of Ruin, grants the Bullets of Ruin buff for 6 turns, then deals an AoE full HP attack 5 times that allows for 150% stolen Max Brave Overflow. The buff allows him to trigger his preemptive attack before the start of his or allies' attack and after his own turn. It also grants him a 20% attack up, stolen Max Brave Overflow up, HP damage up, and allows him to retain 20% Brave on HP attacks. His preemptive attack deals a 4 hits AoE melee Brave plus an HP attack 3 times with 80% splash damage that allows for 150% stolen Max Brave Overflow. Now his LD, Transmigratory Swordplay, grants the Immaculate buff for 12 turns, then deals 7 HP attacks with 50% splash that allows for 200% stolen Max Brave Overflow, and grants free ability use on his next turn. The buff grants him a 50% Brave damage up, 30% HP damage up, 30% stolen / gained Max Brave Overflow up, and stolen Brave up by 50%. His C65 lasts for 4 turns and grants him a 30% attack up, Max Brave up, and a 40% Brave damage cap up. Now with Caius as his partner, Weiss's FR deals an AoE split HP attack 4 times. His FR conditions are as follows: a 5% increase whenever a teammate except Weiss uses a melee ability, and this also includes off-turn triggers. A 20% increase whenever Weiss uses a melee ability, and this also includes off-turn triggers. And a 40% increase whenever a teammate inflicts or attacks a broken target. Now his BT effect lasts for 6 turns and grants the following: the party, when dealing HP damage cap up damage, deals additional fixed HP damage by 10% of the damage dealt. The party cannot be debuffed, and this also includes cannot miss debuffs. They will also be getting a 50% Brave damage up, 50% Brave damage cap up, 20% HP damage up, and a 30% HP damage cap up. So let's talk about whether you should pull for Weiss. Now Weiss is a very strong preemptive DPS character. Like, he has good amount of HP attacks within his skills. The preemptive attack does 3 HP attacks to the target with 80% splash damage. Now this preemptive attack, like I mentioned earlier in the slide, will trigger every single time that you use an ability. So on his own turn, before you activate whatever ability you choose, it will trigger that preemptive attack. The same goes for your allies, but On his own turn, he does trigger a follow-up attack, which is the same 3 HP attacks with 80% splash damage. So on Weiss's turn alone, he is going to be dealing a good number of HP attacks. But when it comes to your allies or most characters nowadays, they typically have some type of like follow-up attack or whatever means to be able to deal additional HP damage. So with that in mind, you also have to add the fact that Weiss is basically just going to be adding more damage on your ally's turn because he is going to be triggering that preemptive attack. Now, I will go ahead and answer a potential question that some of you guys may be wondering. Well, what if I already have core? Should I pull for Weiss? There is a bit of a difference between core and Weiss, because when it comes to his preemptive attack, Weiss's preemptives will trigger so long as you have his EX buff active. When it comes to core, you have to apply his buff to your teammate, and then whenever the enemy is attacking that teammate, that is when he will trigger his preemptive attack. Now, if you want it so that whenever anybody on the team has that buff, then you need to make sure that you have his BT effect active, because that'll allow you to be able to apply that specific buff to everybody on the team. Now, whenever he is about to, or whenever the enemy is about to hit everybody with an AoE attack, then yeah, it's going to be triggering 3 times. So core will be dealing 6 HP attacks altogether in total, with 50% splash damage 3 times in total, right? So there is a bit of a difference between both characters, but I guess in a way, like budget-wise, if you want to look at it in a budget type way, like you don't really have to go too crazy when it comes to preemptive attacks with Weiss compared to what core does offer. Plus, core does have more a little bit of the defensive support within his buff as well. So there are some differences between core and Weiss. Weiss is more of a DPS preemptive attacker, where core, he's not. I don't consider him to be DPS. I consider him to be more of like that support utility character with preemptive add-ons onto his kit. So you honestly cannot go wrong with either of the two, or if you just want both together, you can do that as well, because whenever Weiss dropped on JP, I went ahead and put together both of them, especially because of Weiss's FR, and yeah, I was getting a very good amount of percentage increases while Weiss's FR is active. Now, his BT effect provides damage increases and debuff protection. The debuff protection is really nice because like you literally cannot get debuffed whatsoever, which is fantastic. The other thing is the damage increases. So when it comes to the damage increases, one thing that I did want to state that I did not mention in the slide is the specific sentence of whenever you are dealing HP damage, cap HP damage, right? You need to make sure that you are actually hitting for whatever your highest HP damage cap up is for that specific character to be able to trigger that fixed HP damage by 10% of the HP damage dealt. Now, that fixed HP damage is different from, let's say, General Leo's fixed HP damage, because General Leo's fixed HP damage is based on the current highest HP damage cap that is currently active on your team. But with Weiss, it's a different story. It kind of goes the other way around, and it is going to be based on the amount of damage that you are going to be dealing onto the enemy. So there is a big difference between Weiss's HP damage or fixed HP damage and then General Leo's fixed HP damage. In my opinion, I do feel like Weiss's is a little bit more easier. Not easier, but you actually are able to gain much more HP damage than you would with having General Leo's, because it's already like right there fixed on that specific number. But with Weiss, whatever the highest amount of damage that you are dealing, guess what? Whatever 10% of that damage is what the additional damage is going to be. So you gotta make sure that you pair him up or you have a very strong support so that way you are able to cap in the HP damage and get that additional HP damage. His FR can be used for off/on turn increases. Like I mentioned not too long ago, like Core, Weiss together is a very strong combo because like they are both melee based units. So Core is going to be increasing it by 5%. Weiss is going to be increasing it by what, the 15% if I remember correctly. So like, yeah, you are definitely going to get a good amount of increases off turn depending on how many times the enemy is going to be acting. Really, it doesn't even matter when you think about it, because like in just a normal fight, you're still going to be getting that additional increases if you're going to be using his FR as the main force time. So yeah, you do have different ways to be able to operate Weiss with his FR. Now, he pairs very well with Arciella in the future for higher damage increases. The reason why I added this is because this is actually a pretty strong combo that will be coming up later down the line whenever Arciella gets her FR and her BT, specifically her BT, because in her BT effect, she provides the party with 16% additional HP damage on HP attacks, and guess what? That does stack with Weiss. And seeing as how Arciella is a very strong support in JP, they both work very well together, and whatever DPS character that you are trying to have them deal much higher damage, then yeah, both those two together are going to be a really strong combo, and a potential combo that you might see yourself using a very good amount. So, is Weiss worth pulling for? 100% yes. He is definitely a strong character to really consider pulling for. He has very good damage. His preemptive attacks are great. His BT effect is a really good BT effect. He is definitely worth pulling for in my opinion. So, and I mean, I feel like I pretty much explained everything about him, like everything that you really need to know about Weiss. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and end it right there and then, just because like there's really like there's not any in my opinion, there's not really hardly any cons when it comes to Weiss. Like, he's just that good of a character and a well-rounded character overall. But other than that though, guys, that's pretty much going to be it for the video. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Again, let me know if you're going to be pulling for him or not. And of course, if you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for future content. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.